All right, let's get into this. We are doing your first round table of the game. So how this will work is I will give you all up to an hour to talk. Once you all stop talking, it gets quiet. I'll give you one warning. After that, we'll go straight to the vote. Once it's time to vote, I will go off camera, gather all your votes. I will randomize the order that you will be revealed in. I will say who you voted for. You'll get a chance to explain why, or you can pass, up to you. At the end, who is ever banished will be completely removed from the call. Do not get to say anything yet. You can do a little message or anything afterwards if you'd like. Everybody understand? Okay. Let me. Y'all got 1 hour, so y'all got a 10:02, and you all can start talking now.
Okay, I guess I'm starting this off. What's come to our attention that a lot of people are kind of suspicious about, especially is the way that the Jake and Hutch vote has gone. More people have said Hutch than Jake, and like the numbers are not adding up. And it was discussed that maybe we'd want everyone to kind of go down the line and kind of explain why they voted Hutch, the ones that have voted Hutch. I can go first. I have no problem doing that. I voted Hutch because I actually had a conversation with Hutch up until that point, Jake. I had not talked to you, so I felt more secure with Hutch because I actually had some sort of relationship with Hutch. And I was one of the first people, first or second person to tell Hutch that I voted to save him in the round, and other people kind of seemed to copy after that. So I don't know who's lying and what's going on. So that's just my defense.
Yeah, I was in that call and I immediately voted to save Hutch just based on Jake and I have not connected. I was saying that to the people and Hutch joined and I told him right there and then I was like, it's first round. So I'm like, in my mind, like hopefully he'll save me in my round in two. And I'm like just saying it straight there and then. And then that's when trickling happened.
Do we know who was all in that call? Because I know myself was in that call with Jazzy, Noah, and Blake, but I don't know who else was
I
in that call. But I know I was one of the last people to say it because I was like, damn, if everybody voted Hutch, then Hutch should be safe. But it really felt like a bandwagon. Like soon as Noah said it, everybody was like, I did it too, I did it too, I did it too. But I don't remember who was in it for me to say like that was suspicious of this person. You know what I mean?
I was in that call and I said it a little earlier, but I voted Hutch because he was in my collective on the collective org, not to be
Connected.
confused with the collection. And so that's why I voted the way that I did.
And then I'm on the other side of the spectrum. I hadn't talked to either Jake or Hutch yet. So my entire thing was just based off like the thought process in my head. And I know someone named Dutch. So I said Hutch and Dutch. I said, there's only one Dutch. Hutch is too close to Dutch. So I saved Jake. That was word for word what I put in my submissions. Um,
Oh my
but
God.
that's why I voted for Jake. So
Yeah, I joined that call like towards the middle, um, when it started and then the round was starting. And I had connected with Hutch Friday night and I hadn't talked to Jake yet at that point. And people at number one and number two, people were saying they were saving Hutch on that call. And since I had already connected with Hutch, yeah, I voted to save Hutch as well.
I have a pretty much similar experience to Debbie. Hutch and I had found ourselves on some of the similar calls on Friday before comms close. I know Jake and Hutch, so it was kind of like a bit of a toss up. But then that combined with Hutch also being on the call and like putting an effort to talk to people, I'm like, okay, I'm saving Hutch.
I also was a Hutch vote, and I played a game with Hutch before, so I had a relationship with him. Whereas Jake, I am not meeting until this game, so it was just an easy Hutch vote for me.
Can I go next? Okay, guys, please don't cancel me for this. I promise I'm not a traitor. So when I first updated the sheet, I put Jake, and then I was like, fuck, I like them both. Let me go check what I actually put. And then for some reason I thought I put Hutch, so I asked somebody on the call, and I think it was Jordan, to change my vote to Hutch. Now that we're having this discussion, I was like, fuck, let me go read my shit again. And I did actually do Jake. So I am sorry. I promise I'm not a traitor. I was just drunk when I was voting. So please forgive.
Why are we talking about if someone's a traitor if they voted Hutch or Jake or not?
Well,
I
no,
don't think
I'm
it's
saying I might be a traitor because
relevant.
I like said one thing and then had to change it, and now I'm realizing what I changed it to
Oh,
was wrong,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then I was right the first time.
Okay, wait, are we voting someone right after this roundtable, or do we have 24
Yeah, we're
minutes?
voting someone
The
right
first
after.
banishment.
We're wasting time.
We are wasting time talking about who voted for who, blah blah blah. Like we need to talk about like actual shit.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
no,
the actual shit that we have. It's not really about who voted who, but about who is being open about their answers about who they voted and who is refusing to talk about it.
Yeah, this is like the only this is what we have to go off of. The
That's
first
what we had to go off of. So I apologize. Allison, you were totally fine, girl. Like we all make mistakes at some point. Like I don't see that as like a problem as much as like I thought someone was trying to be shady. But like literally, if you're drunk and you hit the wrong button, that's it happens.
I didn't even know the chart was happening because I was out yesterday, but I did vote to save Jake just because I had talked to him more in this game thus far when we did that. But I didn't even know that there was a chart until you reposted that.
Yeah, I was very much confused. I also voted for Jake for the same reason. And then earlier today when you guys were talking about the chart, I was like, oh, I'll fill that out. Let's do that.
Yeah, I was one of the Hutch votes. I have played a game with Hutch previously, so that's why I voted him. Jake, I didn't really know you. Nothing against you. But yeah, that was kind of reciprocated. We didn't vote for each other. We just didn't have a connection.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, the thing is, like, I didn't put literally any thought process into who I was voting for each round. I mean, I appreciate the people who did vote for me. I didn't do any campaigning. I didn't expect to be saved. Also, definitely didn't expect this drama of like my name being surrounded by other people voting. I don't know. Like, I'm literally just a boy.
It's
Okay.
the point. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think like everybody explaining why they did or didn't. I think the weird thing is when the document was filled out, Hutch very clearly had a majority, and then that's why we're bringing attention to it. It's not like Hutch should have gotten it or not. It just doesn't translate. It doesn't replicate that Jake got the most votes. That's why.
I think what we should be looking at is like, okay, yeah, people are going to vote to save out of two people the person they know, but is there anyone who voted a little strangely? Like maybe they do know someone that was going against the other person, but they voted to save them. But I haven't had time to look at everything.
Well,
I mean, we're just trying to go
you
off
said
the
you know
list.
both of us, and you voted for Hutch.
No, I voted for you, Jake.
No, I said Julia.
Oh.
Yeah.
You said by that logic, like somebody who said that they knew both of us, you voted for Hutch. But I don't think that says anything. Like, it's literally just a 50-50. Like, you just vote for somebody. It's, you know.
Yeah,
what
I
mean?
think like it doesn't really matter like where people voted. I think the red flag was that it didn't translate a majority on the document.
That was
I don't even think, but thing is, I don't even think Ty is referring to like the Jake Hutch vote specifically. He's like, if you go down the line and you look at all of these votes, is there anyone who specifically voted like whack based on what you thought they would do? And that's more telling than like going through and looking at all of the Jake and Hutch votes specifically.
And now that Allison cleared that, I don't think that vote is as relevant as it maybe would have been. Now that it very well, everyone could be telling the truth now that the numbers switched. So I think that now that's kind of something to dead, like now that we figured that out.
So I don't have the list.
So since that's like dead now, where do we go from here? Like, because that was kind of like the only piece of evidence that anyone had to.
I will say this. I think historically, every Traitors game I've played, there's a handful of Traitors out of the collective of them that sit back and don't say anything and are quiet at the beginning. So that's who I'm looking at. And I'm not going to say names because I also don't want a dog pile because that's not going to help us either. But those are the kind of people I'm looking at for the first round table.
So when you say like people who are being quiet, do you mean like quiet now currently at the round table, or do you mean
the whole time? Time.
All right.
Whole time, like nothing in the main chat, like no strategy talks with anyone, just kind of sitting back, popping in like conversational stuff, but nothing like know, like you kind of want to be invisible at the beginning if you're a traitor.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, I have my own opinion on this. I don't like the last Traitors game I played. I was very, very vocal about who I voted, and then there was a dog pile, so I'm really trying to avoid that. But the thing I'm looking at is all the Traitors are probably not going to be playing the same game. But the thing that sticks out to me the most is someone who's kind of in the middle, who's on the calls but not contributing, who's agreeing to things but not really providing unique information or unique thoughts. Someone who is very charismatic and would actually excel at being a traitor. So that's kind of like the things that I'm looking at. There could be like people that are extremely loud or extremely quiet, but I'm kind of looking for that like medium for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that because that sounds like me. Sometimes I hop on your guys' calls and stay muted. It's because you guys are fucking boring and I don't watch Big Brother. Nothing but love though.
We're all talking about Big Brother.
And yeah, I also don't watch Big Brother, so I felt like when I joined the call earlier, like right before this Roundtable, they started talking about Big Brother and that type of stuff, and I was like, oh, I can't say much. I'm just gonna sit here and eat my Jersey Mike sandwich. Like, I don't got nothing to say.
I have a question for you, Ty. Hey, so why are you against filling out that paper? Why were you against filling out the votes all day long? Like it kind of goes against trying to help the group come up with an answer or something like that, and like that's a red flag in my book. And so, can you explain why you're against trying to help empathy?
Honestly, I was out and about all day. Like it's my day off after working all weekend, so I wasn't really like active in anything. Also, I don't mind having sus on myself. I think it's going to help me stay alive, especially because of my reputation playing traders. But I did just send my list like to the main chat of like eat shack. Sorry, my roommate. He thought I said meat shack.
I know you think like your reputation is going to harm you, but like I don't know you, so I'm basing it off of the actions of the past 24 hours. And at this point, I don't think I can trust your actions. And so, whether you're a traitor or a bad faithful, like it's one of those things where I don't feel like you're contributing.
I would say to that, like, keep me around to help find traders, and you think the same way a couple rounds from now, then get rid of me.
I want to add a comment to that because I was going to pre-vote and I was looking at the people that didn't submit the list. And then it was like, okay, well, Ty did say a reason for not doing it. He just didn't want to do it. And I'm like, okay, fuck it. But then you have Amy, who I forgot was in the game, Blissy, who had the opportunity to submit, and I don't know what the fuck Blissy did. Kane been around, Kane didn't submit. And then you have Ty. It's somebody else I think I'm missing, but let's look at, like, Blissy, can you say why you didn't do it? Amy's not here.
I put it in. Like I put it in last minute, of course, because it got bumped. But not gonna hold you. I was extremely blacked out last night. I played a sequester last night. Got completely blacked out drunk. And if I was around, you would not be able to understand anything I was saying because when I am drunk, my spelling goes awry. With literally a jumble of letters. And then I was recovering all of today. But I mean, if you want to, I can give you my full itinerary what I did today.
No, that's fine. I could care
and
less.
I put them in.
Yeah, I don't want to know about that. I'm sorry. But basically, I was just saying, like, when I got on the call and I realized I missed 300 plus messages, I was like, hey, what did I miss? And then the list popped up, and then I immediately did that. I feel like you didn't try. I feel like Amy didn't try. I feel like Kane didn't try. You know?
I'm here. I also randomly saw 300 messages at some points, but I've been traveling. I flew last night and I got in at like 2 a.m. I just went to bed.
Well, this
didn't
is
know
the
about
thing.
the list until it was just reposted.
This is the thing too, is like people have been jumping on VC calls like the last 2 days, like starting the conversation about who's sus. We have to also realize that people are getting on those calls and pushing a narrative immediately right away. and who those people are.
True,
And
but why aren't other people going on VCs as well?
And Ty, I'm not trying to like
I'm
double.
not trying
on
to rebuttal.
VCs.
No, I've been on one with you, and it's been like, yeah, no, it's been no. I wasn't trying to come at you, but there have been again a handful of people who just haven't been like I haven't seen around as much, and that's like it's okay if everyone's peeking in the main chat and everything, but that's fine. That's just going to be spam content where the
I mean,
conversations can happen in the private
honestly,
rooms.
honestly, I don't want to show all my cards and like share all my notes right away with everyone. I'm not trying to get killed right away.
That's why there's a 1 minute delete.
I
doesn't Matt. That was in the main chat where they're doing the like fucking.
I'm just
spreadsheets
playing,
and
but I'm
shit.
just saying. I'm just playing.
I'm not trying to be the one starting spreadsheets and collecting information so the fucking traders just kill my ass right away.
I think I have been one of the people who has been on calls more expressing how I feel. And I've been very open with why I'm doing that. And it's the fact that I don't like a dog pile. I don't want a dog pile. But also, what I really don't want is for us all to come to the round table, vote our conscience, and Ty, like, you go home. Because I don't think you're stupid. I don't think you would have just sat there and said, I'm not filling out the spreadsheet if you're a traitor. But I know that's what some people think. And I know you're probably going to catch heat tonight and you're probably going to catch votes. And I don't want to lose someone who has the potential to be a good faithful because everyone wants to keep cards close to their chest and vote their conscience. And it's a 3-1-1-1-1-1-1-1.
Because
We lose a good soldier.
I agree because you can be at this roundtable and suggest who you think of the traitor is, and that's gonna be enough to convince other people like, okay, that's where the vote's going. But really, everyone here needs to have like top 3 suspects in their own mind and not even like try to convince other people that that's who it is and like see how this first vote goes. Because if that happens, it's going to be all over the place. And either we're going to snipe a traitor right away or we're going to see where the traitors voted when we come back and look at this vote later on in the game.
I know that we're saying that we don't want a dog pile, and I get that. I don't necessarily want a dog pile either, but I would also like to have a conversation about who is suspicious of who, so that way I can have a better idea instead of just being like, well, I guess I'll just vote willy-nilly. And you never know, like everyone could vote willy-nilly and 3 people could happen to vote willy-nilly on like me or anyone else just because they didn't know who else to vote for because no one else was saying a name and everyone else votes for somebody unique and different and then I just get those 3 willy-nilly votes. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think we just played differently though, because like I'm willing to catch votes if it means later on I can look back at this and put the puzzle together of who the traitors are.
True. Yeah. That does make sense. And you're right, we probably do play a little different. But I yeah, going into this, my one and only thing was the refusal to fill out the doc. And there were other people who also were not filling out the doc. And I know that everybody has a life. I know everyone has like stuff going on. And I'm big into communication. So, like, people here have kids and people here have jobs on the weekends. But if you're just like absent and not doing anything in the chat to communicate that, hey, this is what's going on, that reads as sus to me.
That's actually kind of something I wanted to ask about. Did Jaywin say that they weren't going to be able to come to this? Because that's another person who didn't fill it out. And I haven't seen them in any chats that I've been in.
That's the name I was missing. Thank you so much, Lee.
I'm not sure.
Chanel!
Like I got to connect with her on a call this morning. Because I was trying to like connect with people I haven't connected with yet. But I don't know if she mentioned she was busy today, but like we all were. I don't know if she mentioned she wasn't going to be here though.
I only saw Jamin on call before, I think it was even before the traders were selected. that first
Yeah.
night I saw her on a call, but after that I haven't seen her.
Yeah, I'm a little apprehensive to vote for someone like Jaywin just because, like, is she acting this way because she's a faithful, so she knows that like she doesn't have to do all this much. She doesn't have to put up like an act like the traders have to do. I mean, but if we're talking about like if we're going the route of like getting rid of at least like a bad faithful, like I can understand where there's that rhetoric. I mean, I know personally I haven't been on a single call or had a single chat with Jaywin, but I am also just a little weary of like this could easily be like a red herring that's like, oh, like let's just get rid of the most inactive person or like it's someone that's not around. But like obviously it was clear that like she's a faithful because we
Yeah.
all decide her.
I feel like
So
I've actually gotten to talk to Jaywin a bit. I think I've been on at least 2 calls with her and have like text chatted in at least 2 rooms throughout the days with her. So I just know like I've seen more FaceTime with her than probably most people.
Yeah, and
yeah,
two, I don't think it's
I
substantial. I haven't been around, but I think I've been like had more than 2 conversations with most people.
Yeah,
I feel like
feel
I've seen you around enough, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
You were
the only person I saw I did talk to her this morning too for the first time, but the only person I saw in the main chat that said they couldn't make it tonight was Kane. Unless I
Yeah,
missed
which like Kane has
And
like daddy
Geoff. I think
responsibilities.
Yeah, of course.
So
Yeah. I mean, my son was already sleeping early. Yeah.
I think Geoff also said that he wasn't going to be able to
Oh,
make it either. I think he said like he couldn't get out of work. He thought he could, but it looked like it's not going to happen. So I did see that too.
mhm.
But I saw nothing from Jalen. But I also know Jalen on a personal level. Me and Jalen are really close friends. But I obviously haven't talked to her about being here tonight, and she obviously didn't say anything to anyone else. So
Think the one thing to maybe just to keep into account with Jaywin, I was only, yeah, she's one of those people, one of the people that I haven't had a lot of conversation with either, but until today, and I did have one call with her, and she did mention that like she's not used to like playing Discord games where you're on call all the time. I think she said that she's from the Twitter realm where you only play like through DMs. So this is like just a whole
wow.
new environment for her. So I think that could be a factor. Everyone needs their time to find their footing. So I think this is her, I'm gonna find my footing
I
time.
do want to ask, like, on that note, there's a shit ton of people here who have played Traitors in a very similar format to this. Are there any newbies that are sticking out to you as like maybe not understanding or like you're seeing anything sus with them?
From my experience playing Traitors, I haven't noticed anything yet. Like I feel like in my experience, a lot of the stuff that came out rounds 1, 2, 3, like that very first portion, a lot of times ended up being nothing because there's an element of grasping at straws, trying to find any little thing that can come up. So I haven't personally seen anything that's like that suspicious to me. I think someone just slipped up. But I think that's just probably due to it being round one. I will just circle back though, because I do feel like a lot of the narratives on the calls today were that Hutch situation and why someone might lie, say that they saved Hutch when they actually saved Jake. That got debunked. The other thing people kept bringing up was Ty, how you didn't think it was a good idea to um, fill out that chart necessarily. So I just feel like that maybe might it might be good for you to elaborate that a little bit more because a lot of people seem to be confused, thinking that that's not a positive thing. Like, what's the rationale?
I simply did not feel like doing it at the time that it was set in the chat.
Was it ever said by Ty that he did not want to do it for another reason? Because the narrative on the call was that Ty did not want to do it because Ty is Ty, and
All it said was, I'm not doing that. That
Yeah.
was like the message. Or
Yeah,
not.
that
Yeah.
was that
it was
was
like got
basically Ty's
twisted in a
message.
game
I'm
of
not
think
doing
I
that.
literally was like, here we go with the fucking spreadsheets. Like, I'm not
Yeah.
doing
right.
it.
I think like the whole like, oh, is Ty just being Ty is just the fact that there's a bunch of us that have either like played with Ty before in a trader setting and like we know like Ty's reputation in a trader's game, so it doesn't seem like suspicious. Like I know for me, like when Ty said that, I'm like, all right, that's not that sus. He just doesn't want to do it. Like whatever. Like that's my read.
We're
But I think
talking
like that's
about
been the sentiment though.
we're talking about inactive people being bad traders, but how is an inactive person not contributing any different than maybe a somewhat active person who is still not contributing either?
But it's not that they're not contributing, it's they're actively saying, I refuse to do that. Like it is
Yeah.
it's
But
the extreme version.
I literally just sent my list verbatim for what it was right before this roundtable started. So it's
No,
not
I
like
realized,
I
but it was
refuse.
already after it was a big deal. You
Well,
said
I
it
didn't
after it
even
was a
know.
big deal.
I didn't even know it was a big deal. Like, I didn't even know you guys were talking about this. I sent it literally before I got on this call in the main chat. It was like, oh, they probably like are talking about this, so I'm gonna send it now.
I think that to me, like that's the most obvious thing people are going to talk about. That's why I was like, all right, I'm going to fill this out and I want to look at everyone's answers, see if there's anything that's offsetting.
I haven't had time to look at anything today.
And that's fair. That's going to happen.
That's absolutely valid. And I have never played with you before, so when people were saying, "Oh, it's just Ty being Ty," I was like, "Oh, okay, is that just how Ty plays?" Okay, like I mean, I'll accept that, but I just didn't know what was going on. Really,
If anything,
I'll be so real.
I sent more revealing information because I sent like a ranking of
yeah, that's
how I think
true.
of people.
You did. You
I
did.
do
did
feel
see
like
that
it's
ranking.
weird that this is getting brought up again because I thought we squashed it. Because like I don't care if this puts suspicion on me but immediately when y'all were talking about the spreadsheet thing in my pod chat, I literally said I'm not filling that out. Because at the beginning of games like this, a whole bunch of information gets out like this, and it eventually gets used by the people who are meant to hurt us, like in some way or another. So like you're saying that we can use our votes to weed out the traitors, so the traitors can use those votes to weed out people who are on to them. And like I'm not necessarily a person who like loves doing that at the start of the game because every game starts out with
But,
like spreadsheet gate. So like, but I
Aaliyah,
very much was like,
I agree with you, but I can also see why some players in this game are going to look at not providing information as sus.
And that's why I
is
literally
fine.
just complied, and also
I
directly in
wanna
my pod chat, I
sus.
said I'm just gonna fill it out. So
If I can provide my 2 cents on the spreadsheet, my intentions with creating this was because I joined a call and there was a lot of people saying, "Oh, I voted for Hutch." And then that gave me the idea to be like, I think we should clarify. It's not to point fingers round one, but it is something that we can have in our back pocket if I'm here or not, for you guys to kind of look back on and have information. The way faithfuls win is by information. So I truly don't understand your argument, Aaliyah, where you're like, oh, like the traders can use this against us. They're already like they already know who the traders are. Like there's traders amongst us. The most that we can do as faithfuls is like help each other out and get the most information that we possibly can. Otherwise, we're just shooting dark. Like there's at least 20 of us. Like the chances of shooting a trader are so fucking low. We have to have all this information. But that's just my 2 cents.
And I will say that in my past, in my past experience playing traders, this exact twist was the round where I was in the trader role where we basically could have been caught, like if you put it together, because you can use a round like this. There is a legit paper trail where you can, even if it's not this round, it could be 5 rounds from now, you could look back and say, oh, the fact that maybe a trader wouldn't want to select a trader to be up on the vote because they wouldn't want their names to be tied in that event. Like there's things that you could look on. So as a faithful for me, it's like I would like everyone to contribute that information just so that that's something we can all look at and eventually hopefully pick up on something that points someone.
That's valid.
yeah, absolutely. I don't disagree. That's why that's why I agreed and ended up doing it. I wasn't trying to argue. I literally was like agreeing and
No,
then
but
did
I
it.
do see where Aaliyah was coming
Like,
from
I
with
just got attacked for no reason when I literally just said I agreed.
no, I do see where you're coming from though, Aaliyah, with like initially not wanting to do it just because like, yeah, a trader could easily lie and change their answer and say that they voted for somebody who they didn't and use that to make people spiral, which is what we're doing. So
Exactly.
so like I get where you're coming from. I like personally think it's important to fill it out, and so I appreciate everyone who's done it, but like I understand your logic for initially not wanting to.
I I was one of the first people that was like, y'all, we can't let Ty get away with this. Like, let's make him fill out the damn spreadsheet. I think I was the first person to say that once he was like, I'm not doing it. But I also don't think we should be banishing Ty here for doing that. I think if anything, it clears Ty more for me, because why as a trader would you sit there round one and put that target on you for no reason? Like, you even said it, Brian, like, I think you are looking for people who are kind of sitting back more. You're looking for people who are playing background. Why round one or anytime even close to the beginning are you looking to thrust yourself into the limelight and say something that's sending all of these people into a spiral? Like, Ty isn't stupid. I don't think he would do that as a trader. So for me, it makes no sense to vote out Ty here. I'd rather vote for someone and hope I get a trader than vote for Ty here, like almost certain that he's a faithful.
Yeah, like I'm almost to the point where it feels like the tie thing was heard earlier when we were all on call in the house DC, and like that was like a thing that was talked about, and then I just kept hearing it get brought up randomly after it had been squashed, and now we're talking about it again, where I don't think it's relevant. Like, I think we like all of us come to the conclusion like that's tie, and like we
No,
should just move on from that.
I feel like it's completely relevant though. Like if there's players refusing to contribute information to a group collecting information, that's relevant. And
Why?
especially when there's a group of traders trying to mislead the group trying to collect information.
Okay,
Like in my
Hutch. So,
opinion, there's like one
so,
person right now
so
who's like turning
answer
it back to tie every single time, and that to me is suspicious.
Hutch. Why
No.
is it? Hutch, why is it relevant? Like, what information would I gain, or what would I gain as a trader by not sharing that information?
No, okay, so what I'm trying to say is we're going off of so limited information right now. The odds of us getting a trader right now is very, very slim. And so if we're, like, I don't know if Aaliyah is a trader. I don't know if Brian's a trader. I don't know if all these people who are trader hunting is a trader or not. But I know that we can at least use the first round of gathering information to get out the faithful who is contributing the least kind of thing.
I'm
I
not.
don't think
I'm
that's
not
Ty. I don't think
contributing
that's
the
I just
Ty,
least.
think that we've
though.
I
already
don't think it's Ty.
established
I'm
a
not
thing
contributing
against
the least.
Ty. So if we don't, if you guys
Yeah.
want to vote Ty after this, I mean, vote Ty. But I think the people who don't want to vote Ty need to have a discussion.
But also,
Yeah, I
feel
think
free
like
to-
we're 30, like, I mean, 30 minutes can come by really quickly. And I think
Absolutely.
we've talked about the vote, we've talked about Ty.
Yeah.
And like whoever wants to vote for Ty,
Yeah.
that's how they feel. But
I don't need to defend myself anymore here, but I will say 100% that I am not contributing the least, and if anything, I'm putting things out there for you guys to think about that's going to help catch traders.
I do just want to say though, I am getting tired of hearing, "Oh, that's just Ty," because I'm Ty. I'm not saying that you are guilty or you're not guilty, obviously, but we need to come to a place where we don't have these rose-colored glasses on with our friendships prior to the game.
It's not friendships. But Blake,
but you have to
can you
understand
sit
that.
here?
Hold
Can
on.
But
I
no,
wasn't
but
finished
can you
yet.
sit here and say I'm contributing the least, which Hutch just said? That's crazy.
I think there's a bunch of people who are not contributing, whether it's you
The
not.
least. He literally said I'm contributing the least.
Are you going to keep interrupting me, or are you going to let me finish my sentence? Just out of
Well,
curiosity.
you're not addressing what he said.
I'm trying to answer, but you keep interrupting me. This is literally being recorded. We can go back and rewatch it.
You are not acknowledging that he said I'm contributing the least.
I do think you're one of the people who are not contributing. If you didn't fill out the sheet, that's no different than an inactive person who didn't.
Okay, but I'm not contributing.
Not contributing.
But I'm not contributing the least.
Not to be in Ty's defense, but at least Ty of everybody for not putting the names on the list at least had like a reason and stated that, and then there's other people that did not. Like I'm not jumping in here as like someone that like, because like I know Ty, like that's not a secret, right? But like and I'm not trying to use that or anything, but it is kind of like weird that like if we're saying that, oh, Ty's contributing the least when like there's literally like 3 or 4 people that didn't give a reason to voting.
I just think that there's like more, like, are we going to talk about Ty for 20 minutes out of our hour?
Yeah.
Like, I understand
Are we gonna
the
keep talking about this
frustration.
frickin'
Like, I
spreadsheet?
really do
Like,
understand the
Please
frustration.
move on to someone else for the
I think we
last 20
definitely
minutes.
should move on from this because I think there are plenty of other people to discuss. And
Maybe-
like I think we've addressed this. Ty is not contributing the least. Let's
Maybe
Moving
we can talk
on.
about our dearly departed pal Mike, Timeless Mike
Right.
Jones. Like R.I.P. bestie. Like
R.I.P.
thanks for
bestie.
that. But okay, we haven't talked about that at all yet. Like, can anyone think of like any reasoning why Mike would have been the first one to go? Like, what does that tell us? Like, what
There's
info do we get there?
there's no reason, which is the perfect reason. He's like the most inoffensive person to murder, where it's that no one's mad. No one's like, I can't believe they fucking killed Mike first. No, like it can't be pointed at anyone. It can kind like you can look at the people who know him, which is like a small enough group, so it could be like, okay, could be pinned on them. It could be them, but it's just so inoffensive. It gives like zero information. Like they could have come out here and they could have taken a big shot. They could have killed someone who's going to be talking and yapping, but they didn't. They killed Mike. And that's why we're sitting here talking about Ty and the spreadsheet and Jake and Hutch and not the murder because it was Mike.
Mike was also on calls Friday night for a while too, like
Yeah,
the first
Mike
night.
was
He
on
was.
calls Friday night, and I don't know if that played any part in it, but like,
Yeah, Mike was also super active day one. I'm not
yes.
sure.
Yeah.
Like he was definitely somebody who would have talked around and figured stuff out, and I think that
Yeah,
might have
and I wonder if the
contributed.
traitors thought that he might get onto their scent, and that might be why they killed Mike,
Was
even though it's
there
an inoffensive kill. I don't really know a whole lot of information, but this is just thinking.
yeah,
Yeah.
as someone that wasn't around night one because I had to do that recap for the org I'm hosting. Was there like anything said? Like, was there anything like that Mike said that was like could be used against him?
No.
We basically were talking Big Brother spoilers for like
Yeah,
10 minutes, and
it
that was
wasn't
like
even
me talking
anything.
with Mike.
I
And
don't.
then he just said something like I look like something about like the black and white, like not have like but he looked fine to me, like under the blanket, like
There
Yeah.
was a
all the
moment.
like
I literally, I think I was like, why are you like, I was like, I love the black and white. And then he was like, he basically was like, it's because I don't like, and then we were all like,
It was
you look
self-deprecative
fine.
for sure.
Basically,
He's
what
talking about
Jordan's
it,
asking,
asking a girl out. Oh,
there was no game stuff, at
No.
least that I heard.
yeah.
Mike
No,
wasn't like,
me
this
either.
person seemed to switch after roles. Like, I got none of that from Mike. So there's nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It was mostly just Big Brother and just
Life.
talk.
Okay.
I know some people mentioned that they don't want to like name names so that there's not a traitor's dog pile on voting somebody out, but is it a better idea to come up with a few possibilities
I
so that
think so.
everyone's not voting randomly?
I in
They get the
past
pen and paper.
like past seasons I've
Wisdom.
played, we've gone around and said like our top three, and that's been helpful, but I don't know.
I think if there's a lot of people who don't want Ty to go, which I feel like is just the way it might go down tonight, then we should be discussing other names so that it's not a 3-1-1-1-1-1-1.
I
Yeah.
agree, Allison. I agree.
Yeah.
Because I don't want Ty to go.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
think we need to talk to
even
other people.
I just think it's such a narrative that it's just going to be easy for people to
And
jump on me
I
as a vote.
don't even necessarily blame Hutch because like for Hutch's benefit was the first person to say this.
yeah.
And I hold less weight, especially this early, for the first person to say it. I like to see who jumps on. So that's going to be
Yeah.
very telling for me tonight, where I'm not really looking at Hutch voting Ty. I'm looking who jumps on and hasn't really expressed feeling this way like Hutch did, like immediately and loudly.
Yeah.
And I, as somebody who was less active than Ty, I missed a lot over the last 24 hours. So it would help me as well if I heard other names, even if it was mine, so I can defend myself.
But even then, it's like this is the first one, so it's like I don't even fucking know. I really I don't have a clue yet.
It's a shot in the dark overall. It's
Yeah.
we're aiming blind in a dark room and we're just hoping that something connects at this point. And I really feel like though we could just go around and in the next 20 minutes, everyone says 3 names that they feel like could be traitors. We could do that for 20 minutes, but then the chances are someone taking over the conversation and then trying to defend themselves turns into a dog pile, right?
My thing
Because
is,
the more that it goes around, it's like, oh, well, that person actually made a good point about this person. So now I'm going to put them at the top of my list.
my thing is,
So
my name's been out there the most, I feel like. So I feel like I need to defend myself. I have a shield tonight, so I know I'm not going to die tonight when it's lights out. And I feel like you guys should want me around to help catch these fuckers. If you want to try to jump on me now, great. But if I prove in any future rounds, like at the beginning of the game, that I can't be trusted or I'm not active enough or not contributing enough, I think you're going to be like sorely mistaken, because I am contributing. If it's not adding to a spreadsheet, that's not the ways that I'm contributing. I'm
I don't think
contributing in a
anyone's
different
saying that
way.
you're not contributing at all. Like,
Yeah.
I don't,
Well,
I don't,
Hutch was saying that.
Like, not to
I
call
think
out
he was talking about that one specific instance. But I do think you brought up a really good point about the shield. If somebody had mentioned on a call, and I can't remember what like people recommended going with, like, is it better to vote somebody out who does have a shield or who doesn't have a shield? Because it would give us more information.
I
I mean,
truly don't
I
give a fuck
think
shield or
I
not.
think voting somebody without a shield is smarter, because then the people left, like that circle's smaller, so then they have less people to pick from, which could give us more information if it's somebody that they don't want to vote out, but they don't have the options of people to vote out, you know what I mean? So I feel like that's the route that's like smarter, but you know,
I did this exact challenge in a past Traitors game, and it was a lot less numbers, so it was a lot more valuable in that regard. But there were 6 people eligible. 3 of us that were eligible were the traitors. Then one of them was voted out. We only had 2 options, and then everyone was like, "Why did they get murdered?" And it was a little bit of it could be put together. Obviously, there's 11 options, so that makes it tough too. But I do think we need
Even
one
though
out of
they
the
didn't
thing
put it
is
together.
I just
Can I say something?
yeah. Go ahead.
I think it's easy for you guys to kind of say like, yeah, it's easy, and I do see your point, but like as someone who's not safe and doesn't have a shield and know that I'm a faithful, I am extremely scared for you guys to do this. I'm also looking at the fact that like the traders could potentially keep the traders from being like want the traders to be safe, so there is a bigger pool. So like if we're taking a shot, we're most likely going to get a faithful that's just available because right now they want as many options as they possibly can. Um, so I don't know. I don't think it matters, to be honest. I'm just going to be looking at the people who I think are sus and who are good, like who would potentially be a good trader. I don't know how the traders were picked. I asked, they refused to tell me. It could be wheel, it could be based off of vibes, who the fuck knows? But like,
I don't super care who has a shield or not.
I don't either.
My big thing is, like, again, who is not going to be a good trader? Why have we talked about Jeff? We all love Jeff. Jeff has not been here. Jeff has not contributed. Jeff has not filled out the sheet. Jeff has not done this. Blissy, it's been so nice to meet you, but you haven't said anything outside main chat except for the last 15 minutes before call. Amy, again, I love you. I know you were traveling and busy. I know, Blissy, you were busy. But again, haven't done these things, haven't been actively participating. And like that to me, again, going back to what Brian said, you're looking for people who are sitting in the back. You're looking for people who aren't saying anything. That's what I'm looking towards this
I would
vote when we have nothing to go off of.
I would like
agree.
I would like to hear more from Allison, because I feel like I haven't heard much from you on this call so far. Like, what are your thoughts on like who we should be looking at, the kind of people we should be looking at, blah blah blah.
I don't want to take up a bunch of time since we have 14 minutes left. And I also don't want to be the only one to actually say my top 3 people. I said this earlier on call is like, I don't think everybody is going to be on here doing the same thing. So I feel like we should look at people who are doing opposite things, who is derailing conversation, who is talking a bunch, who's not talking at all, because somebody in each of those categories is probably a traitor and they're probably spreading themselves around. I don't want to name a specific name because I don't want to start a dog pile. I don't watch the show, so I'm not super familiar with the terminology. But I am also willing to if we feel like my vote is the most important. But
No, I don't think we need to.
Can I interject really quickly? Sorry, I just got here. I worked 12 hours. That's why I haven't been active today. So,
Hey, Jeff.
hi. Love coming in and hearing people say,
So
oh, Jeff hasn't been active. I'm sorry, I have a job. It's Sunday. I work a double. I couldn't help it.
I'm not
But,
saying like it's a bad thing, but like
well,
if we're using that for tie, like I'm saying there's other people we're using it for, and that's more my thing.
well, if we're using it for Ty, then I'm going to sit here and defend him because we had a conversation yesterday in the VC where he was saying, I have a job late at night. I've already told people this. And then that was the reason I got targeted first last game. So you can't really, like, using that
I
when it's
was
already been. Go
I
ahead.
think I was there with y'all when you were like driving to work as well, Jeff.
Correct.
So was I.
That was yesterday, and that wasn't even today. I got into work at 9:15, and I just now left. So I apologize for not being around, but
You're all good.
I think that I don't know. I don't want to seem like I'm suspicious of people who said my name, but anyone who's pushing that narrative super hard, I have to like look at side-eyed.
Yeah, I am curious, like before, like that was a super push for some people, but they have no other contributions to any other parts of the conversation. Like that's kind of my curious because there's quite a few people here who's like had thoughts and opinions on every topic that we've talked about. But when it came to the tie thing, there are certain people who were very gung ho for that, but had no other opinions elsewhere.
Yeah, and I think you have to have kind of a spread of like people it could be instead of like being laser focused on like one thing.
Person. I agree with
round one especially.
Yeah.
Like
I agree with that. I think what Julia said speaks volumes about people who really haven't been around. Because there's been a number of people who I really haven't gotten the chance to get to know and get to talk to, and those are probably the people who I think my eye more goes towards because I have barely gotten to know them and haven't really gotten to experience their thoughts, their experiences in this game. I've tried today. I was not super active. I was out living life, so I apologize for that. For anyone who hasn't talked to me and wanted to, I was out for the day. If anyone wants my opinions, I'm happy to say anything.
We have like 10 minutes left. And there's people who are off cam and muted that haven't really said much.
I am. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so
I'm
sorry.
going to the bathroom. I just
No, Chanel, we know what's going on.
Chanel's
We know,
probably
Chanel.
Chanel,
Can I say
you're
one more
fine.
thing? I'm sorry. I'll be really
Yes,
quick.
you can say whatever.
There is one thing that I do find weird is like people who seem to have a totally different energy than they have the whole other time. People who were nonstop talking, and now you're silent.
That's what I was like kind of touching on before, like at the beginning of this when it was like on tie, like we were like almost yelling at each other, and now it's just like now we're actually getting to a constructive conversation, and now it's crickets for some people.
I think
it's kind of
Lucy
weird.
has something to say, maybe. Sorry,
Oh.
I just saw Lucy's hand. My ADHD.
Oh, I see.
Oh, no. I just wanted to like kind of before, because I know it's like 10 minutes before the votes are supposed to be due, all that type of stuff. And I know my name was mentioned by Julia. And that's not way, I'm not looking at you like that, Julia. I'm not like looking at you in that type of way. I do want to say like just like moving forward, because I know activity has been a huge thing and part of this huge conversation we've been having for the past like 50 minutes. I do work nights as well. I normally do work nights. I usually work until 11 p.m. at night and then have to drive an hour home. But this coming up week, I do have a few more off days than I usually do because we're going into slow season. And I work on the beach, so it's going to be a lot slower. So I have a few more off days this week, so I'll be much more active than I have been. This past week though was like the final week where it was like everyone has 5 to 6 shifts a week, and then this coming up week, I'm only at.
But like, I don't
like
even
4.
think
So just like moving forward, I feel like activity wise, I will be able to pick it up, so I could participate more. That's all I wanted to put out there. So.
I just don't even think we should be looking at activity level as like who we're going after right now.
Okay, do you have a proposal as to who we go
people have
after then?
lives and like, but like, what are we basing our vote on here?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like
that's
day
my
one. We
question
don't
with
I
really
think
have a
non-activity
lot.
I
level.
think
What will
this
we?
roundtable,
Mhm.
like, who came here with an agenda? Like,
I just want to say, like, on my end, the reason why I got loud is because my biggest pet peeve is being talked over, and that really triggered me. So I just want to cover my
You're
tracks
triggered.
to that.
sorry, Blake.
No, it's okay.
Oh my God.
I love you, boo. It's nothing personal.
Get used to that with Ty, bestie.
Get used to it.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're in,
not.
Ty.
if
That's
that's
just
your pet
Ty.
peeve, you're
I mean,
in
I
for a
Or
sincerely
so I've
not.
heard.
sorry.
Depending on how the vote goes.
I sincerely apologize if it seemed like I came in with an agenda, which is something that was discussed on the call I was last on, and I just
Right.
wanted to kind
Yeah.
of be the person to kind of
Well, and
bring forward what was
I
discussed.
understand that there were people on VC calls today, and I wasn't, so I don't even know what was discussed
Yeah,
and like what people were kind of laying down to be picked up at the round table later on.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
that's
I
the
feel the
reason I just
same.
wanted to address what was,
Yeah.
being talked about on the VC first and
Yeah.
foremost, because I think that was like what was the most pressing in people's minds. That was the reason why I did that. I was not coming with any sort of agenda.
No,
Like I said, I'm willing to hear
and
everybody out.
that's understandable too. Like, I get
Um,
it.
I don't know if you can hear me, but everybody's like screen is black. I've been in and out of this Zoom. I don't know what connection is like.
Oh no.
So I don't even know if y'all can
Hey,
see me. But
Morgan.
I like wanted to put my voice in. Hi. I literally it's all black squares. I can screenshot it and then like Allison and Brian's face is frozen. But like I personally like this first round, like I feel like the evidence is like so here and there. And like I don't know whether to vote for like contribution in general of like okay, who's online, like actually like when they can. I understand everybody's busy, but like at least when we're on calls, we're kind of trying to like brainstorm what should we be looking out for, what should we not. And I feel like, is it smart to vote somebody that's just not doing that? Oh my God, everybody's like still frozen,
We
but
can
like
hear you.
smiling. So I
We
don't
can
know.
hear you.
We can hear.
But like that's where my thought process is because I don't have hard evidence to go off of. So it's like leans more towards like contribution of like what's a good thought process, like help each other with like perceptions of things, etc., etc.
Yeah.
I think you have to look at who's going to
That's just my
be.
thoughts.
I think you have to look at from this roundtable too, like who's going to be willing to put out like trains of thought that is going to like help the collective group and not just like be laser focused on like one thing. That's like
Well, we
something
have
that's
6
going to
minutes
help
to
the
do
traders.
it.
Yeah.
6
It's
minutes.
such
We
a
have
big
very
talk.
limited
Get over
time
it.
now.
I think that's why we
Like,
were trying to figure out like why Mike, but
Yeah.
Would
hard
it
to
help
say.
for me or anyone to just like say a name and then see what people's reactions are?
If
go
you
for it,
feel
Lee.
comfortable doing that,
Okay.
I'm not
I'm gonna say my idea of a traitor could be Noah because somebody mentioned that who people who are very loud and talkative on calls, but then haven't really contributed much to
Sarah?
this specific conversation.
Well, personally, I've been on calls because that's where like I'm not the best with texting, like in the minutes, but I'm also been there in the room just trying to get a gauge on what people are actually trying to like. We're faithful. We're trying to put together the puzzle on who the traders are. So that's just what I've been doing around, and I appreciate you saying a name, but I think that is the wrong direction. Anyone who's played a game with me knows I am fun, fruity, and fresh, but you also know that I am a logical person at the end of the day, and I like talking with people and like figuring shit out. If I'm a faithful, I'm going to be
I think
fighting.
the thing more is you talk all the time on calls, but haven't really said a lot tonight.
Okay, well, I think, okay, well, what's said tonight, people were talking about Ty, and that was squash, so I didn't want to rehash that. And then the other thing was, I'm not gonna try to throw like I'm not trying to throw a name out, but like Blissy's name was mentioned and Blissy was inactive, and that's what people were talking about. And I just got on a call with Blissy literally 15 minutes before, and that's my interaction. So if y'all want me to repeat what's already been said, I can do that and voice my opinion. But I've also voiced my opinion. Sorry, I know, I get it. I don't know.
No, I hope you know, like, I love you. I'm just trying to start conversation. I'm
No,
not
that's
necessarily saying that
fair.
it's the right vote at this point. I honestly have no clue. I'm terrible at like Mafia and these types of
Yeah.
games. I don't know how to read people, but I do know that sparking conversation is helpful.
Okay, where is
Okay, but like to
wait,
the same
wait.
degree, like some other people haven't been in the chats, like sparking conversation. I think we're going in a bad circle if
Okay,
we're just landing on me.
I think you're right. Like I came into this wanting to like look at people who are laying back and not saying things, and that can be attributed to people who are on this call. But like, where's Jaywin?
Yeah, I thought this morning Jaywin said she was gonna be here.
Yeah.
I also talked to Jaywin this morning, but I also looked back. I didn't see any messages that said she wouldn't be here.
Because me, you, and Jaywin were on a call this
Yeah, we were on a
Real
call
quick.
this
and
morning.
she did.
Real
I
quick.
thought she said she was coming. Like, not
Real
to.
quick. Sorry to interject. Jaywin had some IRL stuff come up.
Okay.
So that's why.
Okay.
I'm not gonna talk about her stuff in person.
No.
You can ask her if she want, but
Thank you,
I
Jeff.
do know with good. Like she told me she had some stuff happen, and so she was planning to be here, but I don't think she's able to be.
I wasn't trying to like deflect off of Noah, but like I was just looking through the cast and being like, who's being quiet right now? Because that's like where I'm.
If we're
That's where I'm focused right now.
we're gonna talk about people who are quiet and who have not been here, I feel like all of us are kind of contributing except for Amy because she hasn't been here. I would love your thoughts on like how you're traitor hunting.
Today I have not been able to jump on calls because I've been with my family, but I have periodically tried to like jump in the rooms and just say like, hey, is anybody here? And it has not been successful today. I was in chats yesterday doing that, and just the past 24 hours, I just haven't been able to jump on the calls. Not saying that's not a possibility moving forward. I just haven't been able to this last 2 days.
No,
But
I
I
get
have
that.
been
But like what is your
chatting.
criteria for like traitor hunting specifically? I get why you're like unavailable, but like what are you specifically looking for is my question.
What am I looking for in like talking with people to hunt the traitors?
No, in traitor hunting, like are there certain
Like
characteristics
who do I think would be the traitors? Yeah, I mean it's kind of a mix. I would also think like if there's anything, what I've been trying to do is see if there's anything that people are calling out, like if they know people from before, because I don't know most of you. So if they're calling out, like if there's any behavior that's been different, that really hasn't been happening. So I've just really this call, I've really just been taking things in. But it can be like any which way. It can be somebody, trying to blend in and being in that middle, or it can be a quieter person, which I know I would be a quieter person, but there's other quiet people as well. But that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I came in not knowing really many people either, like a few people, but that's why I've been trying to be on like the calls Friday and talk to people to try and feel everyone out. I think like
Same.
yeah, and Amy, like I just haven't spoken to you yet at all. So like personally, like I don't know, like on that level, like I like that question because I just like have not spoken to you yet. But
Yeah, no, that's totally
yeah.
valid.
I
And
just wanted to
I wish I
say,
had more chance than just I ran out for like an hour just for this call.
well, we have 2 minutes left. I just wanted to say, if anyone like wants me to contribute more, I'm a very upfront person. Just like let me know. Like I didn't want to like speak over anyone when everyone was already hashing out things because like I already talked within calls with people, Great Hall, everything, where we talked about lists and sheets and everything. So it's like we're all people that were talking about things and not everyone was bringing it up. So I just want to say that.
I don't think it was a matter of you contributing. It was a matter of like noticing a change of behavior.
Yeah. Well, if anyone who's played a game with me before, they know I crack jokes every time I can. I smoke weed, and this is nothing fresh. This is nothing fresh out of the book. So,
Can I say something?
Yeah, I have two
and
things
so I
too.
just
Whenever you're done, Chanel.
Chanel.
Just real quick, I just want like moving forward because this is about to start pissing me off. No shade. Can we just stop with the whole I know this person, I know that person, or this is how they act, and this is like that's just
Yeah.
starting to piss me off because I don't know y'all. I know
Let
like
me
3 of
rephrase.
y'all.
If you see me from
I
the
don't know you guys
beginning
either.
and I've been the start, like that's who I am. Like I've always been me.
And I don't even like people saying that to defend me.
Yeah, it's getting played out. It's old. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, this is how Ty act. Okay, I get that, but damn,
Yeah.
is Ty gonna act like that his whole life? We don't know what if Ty acting like this with
Exactly. I
players or
just
Ty
met
act like that with
Ty.
survivors. God damn it. Like it's starting to piss me off, no shade. And I'm sorry to sound upset. I'm going through a
No,
lot.
you're good.
But
You're good.
yeah,
You're good,
that's
Chanel.
really like we gotta stop that moving
It's just
forward.
like
Please, please, please.
I think that's a
I guess
fair
people
ask.
who I don't know. I guess I'm just basing my vote off people that I guess haven't been. I don't know. Why am I saying?
Okay,
Hey.
yeah, I'm gonna like say something constructive. I haven't really said a name like to anybody, but I just like been observing like this conversation, and somebody that like has had like a weird behavior change for me, like kind of this whole conversation is Hutch. Like you're very opinionated normally, and you're very like you normally do bring like very big things to the table, and you've been very, very quiet. I don't know if
I mean,
that's like
I brought what I had to the table at the very beginning, and we were told like, okay, we're done with that subject right there, and so like let's move on. So I've been quiet since we moved on, type of thing.
I absolutely think that I think that's valid. I would just think it's curious that
So
like
yeah.
there's no other opinion shared. Like
Oh no, I have other opinions. I'm just trying not to dominate and trying to take over all the games. So I'm not trying to pop in every time I have a thought. That was the only thing it came down to.
With that, guys, it is time to vote. Every one of you, go on mute and send your vote in your prod chat. I will tally them up. Once I do, I randomize the order which you all vote, or which I reveal your vote. Once I reveal it, I'll let you have a moment to say why, or you don't have to, up to you. Once the person is banished, they'll be removed from the call.
Can I just say I'm gonna go and check on my bartender? So like I'm gonna be like not being able to talk. Thank you, sorry.
All right. We have the votes. So I randomized the order. I will say your name. I will say where you're voted. If you are here, I'll give you a moment to express why you voted that way. Move on to the next. Sound good? All right. First person up on the list is Blake. Blake has voted Jaywin. Blake, would you like to explain why?
Sure. I just thought that we talked about inactive people not contributing. They were not here. They did not show up before the vote or all day. So I thought that that was the fair thing to do.
One second, guys. Never mind. Sorry about that. Moving on to the next one. All right. Second person up is Allison's vote. Allison has voted Debbie. Allison, would you like to explain yours?
I just feel like she seemed very vocal all the other times and not super vocal tonight. And then when I said that people acted different, then she immediately started being vocal. So
All right. Next on the list we have is Sarah. Sarah has voted Aaliyah. Sarah?
I have a few reasons for this. First, the things that she has been saying didn't really resonate with me as a faithful. It sounded more traitorous to me. Secondly, I do think she's someone who kind of stays in the background, doesn't really contribute original ideas, but is okay to jump on ideas that have been brought up. And she would be an amazing fucking traitor. Hello? Thank you.
Next we have is Julia. Julia has voted Blissy. Julia?
I came into this saying I was going to vote for someone who hasn't been around as much, and you stuck out to me because of your activity in the main chat versus anything in the smaller conversations, and that was something I was looking for coming in.
Next we have is Jordan. Jordan has voted Kane. Jordan?
Let me read my explanation. So I think that Kane, you are trying to blend in and not seem like offensive or suspicious. And I think those are the people at this stage of the game that are more likely to be a traitor. So that was my rationale.
All right, next up we have Jake. Jake has voted Blissy. Jake?
Yeah, I told a lot of people today that I was more so looking at people who were bad faithfuls. And I mean, if you couldn't even take 35 seconds off of TikTok to go fill out that form, I just thought you had the worst excuse for why you couldn't fill it out. So that's why I voted for you.
All right, next we have is Debbie. Debbie has voted Amy. Debbie?
I voted for Amy just because like I just haven't spoken to you yet, so I just don't know where your mind is at or head's at. Like I'd love to have a conversation, but yeah, I just not that I'm saying like based on inactivity, but I just don't really have much to to go off of. And when your name was mentioned by Sarah at the end, I was just like torn on the vote, so sorry, that was the reason.
Did they do vote results already?
No, we're going
Wait,
to
currently
was
doing
my name
them
just said?
now.
Oh, sorry, I had to go. I'm in fucking power grab and I had to go over to that Zoom call.
You're all good. Okay, we're on to the next person. The next person is Aaliyah. Aaliyah has voted Hutch.
Yeah, I mean, I said my reasonings earlier. I think that during this conversation, everybody has like little bits of ideas that they've had, and I think that's like normal when you start because you don't have a lot to go on. So even people who came out in here with one idea, like they had like other standpoints at least that they could expand on, and I didn't feel like you really had any other than the one. So that's really what I went on.
All right, next we have is Blissy. Blissy has voted Amy. Blissy?
So I went ahead and voted for Amy tonight. I think that at the point when Sarah put you on blast, literally right at the end, I think that you had some time to articulate your thoughts throughout this entire past hour and about how diffusing based off what everyone else has said about how to find traders, what the ideas were. You did not have anything original say. You really just repeated what the previous person had just said, and it wasn't anything like that. But yeah, I voted for you, Amy, tonight. I have other thoughts, but if I survive this vote, I'll say them when I can.
All right, next we have is Ty. Ty has voted for Amy. Ty?
I mean, honestly, Blissy said it exactly how I was thinking in the moment. It just seemed like when Sarah asked what your thoughts were, that there was a lot of confusion on what she was asking when it seemed to me very clear what she was asking. And I think you were giving yourself time to kind of think of something to say that wouldn't make you seem like a traitor, instead of like going naturally off of from like a faithful perspective. So that was just like raising red flags for me. I don't, if you're faithful, I'm sorry. And if you're just like confused and catching up, I'm so sorry. But that's just how it came off to
I'm
me.
just a confused person. It's okay.
One second, guys. Okay, sorry about that. Next up we have is Jeff. Jeff has voted for Amy. Jeff, are you able to talk and explain?
Yeah, not to ride a similar boat, but the thing that really stuck out to me was when you were saying that whether or not you could be on calls later could be a possibility. Um, I know it's round one. I know we don't have a lot to go off of, but that should 100% be a for sure thing, not a possibility, because even then, if you're not a trader, you're going to lead more possibly to potentially being a bad faithful. I don't know if that was just a misspeak, but those stuck with me. And that's why I voted how I did.
All right, next up we have is Chanel. Chanel has voted. Blissy. Chanel?
Yeah, no shade. I did vote for Blissy. It was more so like I just don't like the popping in and out. And then, wait, where's my reasoning at? Yeah, I don't like the popping in and out. I feel like you were very capable of submitting your list. And then when you're here, I feel like you're just being more silly instead of contributing and helping us figure out who the traitors are.
All right, next up we have is Lee. Lee has voted tie. Lee?
I voted for Ty, not because I necessarily think he's a traitor, although I do think he would make a really good traitor, but I think that he took dominated a lot of the conversation, like being the subject of conversation, and I think that is going to be distracting and not necessarily positive for figuring out who the traitors are.
All right, next we have is Jaywin. Jaywin was not here. Jaywin did not submit a vote. Jaywin has a self vote. All right, move on to the next. Hutch. Hutch has voted for tie. Hutch?
Yeah, it just comes down to I feel like I have to chase the most ironclad facts that I had, and I'm not entirely sure that you are a traitor, but I do feel like you're the person who is most hitting the brakes on trying to help us find it this round. And I'm just trying to be the best team player that I can be, and I felt like that was the person who was actively hitting the brakes on that, on what I was trying to accomplish.
All right, next up we have is Morgan. Morgan has voted Blissey. Morgan?
I voted for you, Blissey. I feel like I haven't seen you on a call, and then whenever you did hop on before Roundtable, it wasn't like straight into like, hey, like what's going on? I'm sorry, like I missed this, like going into game talk. And but I do like obviously whenever you did your vote, like you do have observations, but I just feel like as thus far you have not contributed any strat talk or when you hopped on that call.
All right, next we have is Jazzy. Jazzy has voted Amy. Jazzy?
Amy, I think the reasons Debbie, Ty, and Jeff specified were pretty much the similar reasons to why I voted for you. I think you did the worst case kind of defending yourself about why you would not be a traitor, and that's why I voted for you because I think you were the most suspicious in my eyes.
All right, with that, we have is Kane. Kane has voted tie. Kane is not here. Next we have is Noah. Noah has voted Blissey. Noah?
Yeah, I also voted Blissey because that's kind of where I was leaning going into this, just based on the conversations that were happening. There was basically two main points of conversation, and I feel like the Taiwan kind of got debunked, and I feel like Ty defended it well. So that's just where I have to go off. People coming in and out, and Amy, like I don't know about y'all, but like Amy did communicate with me in a side chat room that she was like driving or busy, and like that's all that it needs. Like just like be there with the flow, like pop in with context. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey Noah, do you
And
think you
wait,
defended
wait.
yourself well, by the way? Just ask it, because if you're
I
saying
mean, I
I
didn't
defended
get any
myself
Not your
votes.
badly,
turn to
you didn't
talk,
either.
dear.
I
Go
haven't
on
gotten
mute.
any votes so far, so.
Okay, sorry. Okay, next up. Crispy. Crispy has voted Amy. Crispy?
Yeah, I voted for Amy. I'm sorry, you seem really cool, and I really wish we could have gotten on a call to chat, because I feel like we would vibe. But just given everything that was talked about, it was kind of a toss-up, and I felt more compelled to keep Blissey around, as opposed to you. And that's all I had to go on. I'm sorry.
All right, next up we have is Amy. Amy voted for Blissey. Amy?
Yeah, this one, I mean, got the sense that I would be getting votes, and your name had come up for similar reasons. So this is just self-preservation. That's why I voted for you, Blissey.
All right, we are down to the final vote. We have 6 votes Amy and 6 votes Blissey. Brian, you have the final vote. Would you reveal who you voted and why?
So I was also between Amy and Blissy. I felt like both of you guys were on the hot seat and had opportunities to kind of explain yourselves. Um, Based on the way you explained yourselves, I kind of like Blissy's answers a little bit more. So I did vote for Amy in this roundtable.
All right, Amy, do not go anywhere. With that, since you are here, we are going to let you reveal your role. Amy, you have been banished from the castle. Afterwards, you reveal you'll be removed from the call and all the chats. So, now's your time. Here you go.
Okay. Hey guys. It's totally fine. Yeah, I have just been super, super busy. So I wish that I could have put more in this game to help you hunt those traitors and, contribute and meet you guys more or less. But it was fun. I'm glad I got to meet you guys. But I'm also glad that I didn't help too much because I was a traitor. So you didn't need my help.
You're joking. Blissy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Clock
Shut
me
the
and drag
fuck
me.
up.
Holy fuck. No, drag me, Blissy.
Y'all can't see me, but my jaw is
You don't get to say shit though, because you did not defend
Holy
yourself well either,
shit.
sister. I don't want to hear shit about my defending
That's
you because
why
you
she
defend
was
yourself.
inactive, guys. That's why she was inactive.
Karen,
Shit.
we played an
Well, she was on-
IRL mini. We played an IRL mini, and Karen
That's
picked Amy to be
insane.
a
No, Blissy
traitor.
literally dragged me to the floor. I'm sorry, girl. Holy fuck.
Oh my God, Sarah! I like literally didn't know who I was gonna vote.
Blissy,
That, and I'm like, I'm voting.
sorry, Blissy.
Listen,
Oh my
Blissy's sorry too, man.
Guys, one
I'm
second.
not
One
sorry.
second. Let me
I'm not
finish
gonna
this.
go
Hold
down.
on, hold on.
Gagatondra.
Gagatondra. Holy fuck.
Players,
Guys, we got a
1 second,
traitor.
you can talk. Okay, you have found your first traitor. You are going to have lights out, and I'm going to give y'all till 11 since y'all just got done with everything.
Thank you.
Lights out will be at 11. Y'all will not be able to talk after that. The next murder will happen tomorrow.
See you guys tomorrow.
Y'all are welcome to jump on chats and talk in the house and all that. Good night.